Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video, we will learn how to read from and write to external files. This is a very important functionality to understand and learn to do correctly, as we almost always need to acquire data into our codes from a certain source and then write the results back to it. For example, let's think of a simple code that can calculate the overall grade for all the students in a certain course. Now we need to read all their coursework and exam marks from an external file. Then write the results back as well. Another example would be dealing with very large data files such as weather data or inventory for stores and so on. All of this data is always stored in files or datasets that need to be read into our code for processing. And in this class, we will learn the basics of reading and writing to text files. When we deal with files, there are three main things that specify the file: the folder path, the file name, and the file extension. Let's start by opening a file that already exists in the same directory of the notebook file. This line will open the file randomnumbers.txt as long as the file exists and is located in the same directory of your Anaconda environment. This is because we did not specify the folder path for the file and we only gave our code the file name and its extensions. If we want to open any file within our local system, we have to provide the full path for the folder with the letter R, which means row string, as it shows. It's very important to close a file after finishing your work with it. You can do so by calling the close function on the file object. When we open a file, we can specify in which way we want to open it. We will look at different options of handling files in the next video. In this class and at our level, we will focus on text files. After our file is opened, let's see what are the ways that we can read the content of that file. The read method returns the specified number of bytes from the file. The default is -1, which means the whole file. In this example, we are reading the first 4 characters in the file and printing them, which are number 45, the new line, and digit 4. Remember that new lines are considered characters, as we saw earlier when we covered strings. The readLine method returns one line from the file. Note that all read commands continue reading the file from where it stopped. That's why this readline code printed the number 56. If you run the same code again, it will print the next line in the file. You can also specify how many characters to be read from the line, as you can see. The readLines method returns a list containing the remaining lines from the file as it shows. Again, the \n means new line, as we saw before. When reading a file, the read functions automatically know the end of file, or EOF. Python will raise an exception if the EOF cannot be reached for some reason. You can also explicitly check if the EOF is reached by checking what the read functions return. If the value they returned is an empty string, then the EOF has reached. Let's see how to practice those functions with an example. We have a file called groceryitems.txt. Let's read its content using the read function and print it. Now let's try and read the entire file using readline and readlines functions and see how each function operates. Well done! We now know how to open and read information from a text file. Let's see if we can tackle this challenge, which will also help us in reviewing some of our previous topics, such as data structures and loops. We have a file called randomnumbers.txt. This file has a number at every line. What we want to do is to read those numbers and sort them in both ascending and descending orders, without using any built-in sorting functions. When the numbers are sorted, we want to print them to the console. You can pause the video and try to do it yourself. Well then again, I will see you in the next video to study writing to files and practice more with examples and challenges.